500 every 10 days. That's not even enough to keep Pepsi Man here alive, but it might just be okay. Might be okay. Jake, I've seen you do a few of your routes use 0 instead of max in some places. Do they function the same, or have you flubbed up? I've probably flubbed up many a time. Let me show you this then. Whenever I do a place where I want to deal with my storehouse here, I want it to unload max and I want it to load max. However, if I go somewhere where I'm dealing with the city, then load 0 is fine. Load max is fine as well. I mean, it's very unusual for me to actually be able to load from the marketplace in anywhere that doesn't produce cheese, because it's only going to load as many as it can, as long as it pays no more than 100 ducats per barrel of it. And finding anywhere that'll... excuse me. Finding anywhere that will sell you cheese for 100 ducats a barrel is going to be very rare at this point. So I'm not concerned. Not concerned at all. It feels lovely to see such a prosperous Hansa. You know, all these ships going around making me tons of money. Remember when I vasqued loads of my money on new counting houses and establishment in new areas? Well, we've already pretty much undone that. Funnily enough, this expedition is actually not something that makes me much money in the grand scheme of things. But it helps out with keeping prosperity up, because what I'm doing is I'm selling off all these spices and all this wine to places, and that helps with prosperity. I wonder if it's getting all the way around though. I mean, it's even getting over here, so that's okay. It's not getting over to the likes of Danzig though. Does this call for a naval Lubeck game in EU4? No, it doesn't. Lubeck is easy modo. Although it feels like nothing I've been playing has been easy mode lately. Oh, look at that money flow. Well, that's not all that's flowing. Bad times in Riga. Not only is there a plague, there's also a drought, and there are rats. So that's pretty bad. That's all really bad. Let's just hope they don't go starving as well. I mean, I have plenty of wheat here, that's highly unlikely, and we have all this cheese. In fact, these guys get all the types of food, lucky them. It's nice being in Riga, even with the plague and the rats and the drought. So, Count Louis of Flanders is a horrible person, and he is besieging every province. Or every city in Flanders. Wow. What a monster. So that puts all of these under siege because he is extremely angry. He wants tribute, I'm not giving him anything. Still though, he is angry. Well, we finished our wall here, so I'm not concerned about how Haarlem's going to do. Except there's no way that I'm letting him take all my money, so whoop. We take it and we run away scot-free. Do you have administrators auto-buying and selling in the cities that you just got new counting houses in? No, not yet, but I'm going to do the rounds once I've grabbed all the counting houses that I want here. And we're not done with that yet. My goals today is to dump and severely build up Rostock and buy up as many places as I can. And really there's not any real order that I have to do them, I just want them done. Because in the end they're all going to have to get done, so let's do another one. Ka-ching. Oh right, Prince's armies are at the gates, so never mind that. Let's say I wanted to do Danzig, and who doesn't want to do Danzig? Yeah, very expensive. But I can just spacebar my way to glory. The only downside is having to stop for two specific things. One is for my expeditions, which I hope someday will make those cities grow, and the other is to deal with any pirates. But there's no pirates, so my heavy heart can relax for a moment. Otherwise, though, I want Bergen to have loads of clay for me. They don't, but I'd still love for them to do so. Of course, Wildcard Thagnus could just abduct that clay, or they could look to Riga, which has a reasonable amount, or Haarlem, who finally, Haarlem has a decent amount of clay. Let's go and dominate Rostock for a bit. Do-we-do-do. We have the resources to build up Rostock ever so much. Also, look, we made 1 million ducats without anything special going on, just by waiting for about half a minute. Well, we can do something special as well. Clothing would be perfect, they say. Is that so? Didn't you want something else? Mead. Not happening for you. Unless... I mean, I severely doubt I have some mead. I do not. No, sadly. Okay, point is though, we already have a whole bunch of warehouses here. 10 of them, in fact. I would like a few more, but Rostock isn't somewhere we're going to produce anything on that much bulk. It's going to be our prime cloth and cloth producer. It might even be our only cloth and cloth producer. In fact, if you hold that thought for just a moment... Dum-de-dum. If you had everywhere with all the cloth and... well, if you had everywhere built up, how many cloth places would you need? Yeah, tons of them. Absolutely tons of them. In any case, that's all I can see this this place producing is just cloth and clothing for me. So if I can keep my thoughts together for 10 seconds here, this is going to become my city.
I expect you to either tear this house down immediately or cut me in on the profits. Remember, I was here first. I have already told you a number of times that I do not appreciate your continuous expansion in my city. You are disturbing my business.
Sorry, what was that? I couldn't hear you over the sounds of making utterly disgusting buckets of ducats. He was probably telling me to build more houses. So I think I built houses everywhere I can within the city wall here. Everywhere I can. Yeah, now housing occupancy is way down. Could be down further. That's as low as I'm likely to get it. Yeah. And now I need to think, because I need to produce cloths first and then clothes. These industries I may well end up tearing down later on, because it'll be problematic in its own way. But that's for the future to worry about. For now, I want those goodies. Oh, he told me to build clothing, didn't he? Yeah, I even took that mission. Man, I was building in the wrong order here. Still, I just need to bring a whole load of clay and everything's fine, so... Clothing... Yeah, good enough. And the other's going to be cloth. It's always the industry that I ignore the most in this game, which is kind of a shame. This is very much a build it and worry about it later approach. But hey, we can worry about that later. This whole place is going to be starved for building materials, but I want to dominate Rostock. I don't like his buildings there getting in my way, but there's a lot these AIs do to get in my way. Jake, is there a reason you build industry so far away from the city walls? Yes, the AI will occasionally build a new city wall. Oh, build a university. Please build a university. I will actually send you 50,000 to build it. They're in favor of building a university. Yeah, well, build it a bit faster, please. I want that research done. The AI will occasionally build a new wall, and what they will do is they will consider 5 points. A point along here, a point along this road, a point along this road, a point along this road, and a point here. You can't do anything to influence the points here and here, but you can influence the points along the road, because they will take the point furthest along the road that will encapsulate these, well, all the industries that you've built. So what I've done is I've ensured that it will be built here, and here, and here. So it's going to be as big as I can make the AI build the wall. If I were to do it myself, I would put everything out as far as possible, including these, but I'm not the mayor of this city, so I can't do that. And each city has a size that it can get to, because not all cities are the same. Rostock, for example, here, if I check this here, is actually a fairly small city. Its capacity, again, roughly speaking, is 56,000 people, because there's only space for 560 houses and 560 businesses, and I think that accounts for having a handful of warehouses and mints and other things. University, what's the hospital place called again? Yes, an infirmary. I mean, there's ways around that, but generally speaking, places have fairly set sizes. Ripen is actually the largest. It can hold about 710,000. Jake, how do you become a mayor of a city without it being like Harlem? What you do is, first of all, you go to your counting house, personal, and you move there. And then what you do is you apply to become the... it's somewhere here, right? Then you run for election. Because I could do it now, but no, you need to move your capital there, or move your home there. So you move home, then you apply. Moving home is completely superficial. It doesn't matter for anything other than doing this. It's just one extra click away. So you run for election, election will come, you will be elected mayor because you're obviously the most popular everywhere if you trade like I do. And then you can do all the things like building all the mayor buildings, choosing where the wall will go, and best of all, like we do here, there, and everywhere. In fact, I don't think I've done it here enough. Of course, take your fair salary. And this tax is outrageous, they say. Okay, they're angry because the whole place is all plaguey, so they don't want to be taxed too hard. I'm going to bring the tax down because I don't actually want people leaving Riga. We're struggling enough as it is to supply the world with our delicious dairy products. Whew, hope that answered the question. What I need to answer for is the dangers that I've done to the Rostock building economy. They're short 2,000 wood and 4,000 clay. So the wild card Thagnus needs to source even more. Fortunately, Riga has us sorted when it comes to that clay.
So that's what you get.
Bastard. Once again, I had maximum security. I don't know how they keep managing to get past it. But let's just thank the suns that he didn't inspire some revolt that caused so many people to die this time. Hell, I'm abducting most of this stuff. Cheers. And cheerio. Aalborg is so well supplied, they're complaining about a lack of wine. I can give it to them, and then they still claim to be short on wine. Okay. Still, that's a very well supplied city if they're complaining about wine. I'm glad you have wood. I'm glad you have iron. That means you're actually producing metal tools. Of course, you never really produce enough metal tools, but that's its own problem. Yeah, it'd be nice to actually have metal tools and pitch and even pelt provided to Haarlem so that I can actually send it out there. Malmö has a ton of pitch, so I'm wondering why I don't send it out enough. I think it's because I didn't have enough boats at the time. It also produces lots and lots of honey that I need to start seeing to. I'm also a little bothered by the fact that Haarlem, whilst it may produce plenty of wool, it doesn't produce so much that I find myself drowning in it. Look at that, I got 3,000. It took long enough to build up that excess amount. So Rostock, who is now going to demand tons of my my delicious wool. I did build those. Yes, good. The tailors are under construction. Rostock, which is now going to demand a copious amount of wool, and I should check my numbers on that. One piece of cloth requires one piece of wool, and you produce 2 per day. And how many of those things did I just build? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 40, 44-ish. 44, 88 wool needed per day. And over in Haarlem we produce how much per day? Okay. I need somewhere else to produce wool for me. Or I put all my wool into Rostock, which is the cleverer thing to do here, honestly. Wasn't the Mediterranean bug? The cities couldn't grow, right? Or did they fix that? I'm pretty sure they fixed that, but they're not growing because I'm not bringing them any goodies. Okay, so there is a problem. I don't produce enough wool. Production is kind of strained here, because now I'm throwing everything into... well, everything into everything production. There is a way around this. I can make Haarlem have a larger population. Oh, bollocks. When did it get so full of people here? The AI built 2 more houses. And because the enemy's at the gates, I can't build more houses of my own accord here. Damn. Okay, well once that siege is up, I need to get on that. Get out there. I saw that. I saw that. I also see what my money is doing, and I quite like it. Worth it for 100,000. So how much are we looking at? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 places I still need to get a counting house set up in from my count. If we ignore the inland ones, and I want to ignore the inland ones, that's Cologne and Thorn and Nimwegen. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's going to be 9 times about 3 million, so that's a lot of money. I just need lots of money. Is that a crime? Come on, Haarlem, stop being under siege. There we go. Still, my university is done, and that means that we have... wait, 2 universities is 1 bit of knowledge per day? That doesn't seem right. Still, I want my caravels done. Nothing changes that. Wait, would you piss off so I can actually build some houses here? There we go. Better than the AI building them. I might seem oddly defensive of the AI building them, but trust me, it's a lot easier to build them early instead of not building them at all and finding that the AI charges you an arm and a leg for them. Plus, I think I'm going to supercharge Haarlem. Or, since the king is super happy, I could always make him happy. Send him a casket full of gold. Yeah, I guess. I want him to open up more trade routes for me. Because it's cheaper, believe it or not, to do it now than to wait. Nice thing about Haarlem, I mean a really nice thing about Haarlem, is that it produces goods that are very much in demand. I mean, I am needing a lot more sheep, I'm always needing more wood, clay, and stockfish. Well, yeah, those are dwindling, my liege. So yes, I need a lot more people here. So, it's time to upgrade. Wow, I burnt through that money, didn't I? So, trade, well, goodies are needed, just overall. So, take it all. I'll build one more thing just so everyone gets everything built up. Crunch. Demolish that. These ones aren't done yet because I'm short on yet more clay as it happens. Where'd the wild card Thagnus go? Oh, he was taking his clay over to Rostock, because I was still thinking about you. As well I should. So now I got all these weavers who don't actually work, because there's no wool here. So I need to think what I'm going to do with my wool. And I think I'm just going to take it all over to Rostock rather than supply people. So what I do is I grab my wool har 1, wool har 2, wool har 3. And to be honest, I can save it. Wool east. Wool center. Wool west. All saved, but it's all getting changed up. Bum. It's just... no. It's just that. Just bring all your wool there. Grab it all and dump it all. And what I can say is this is wool for Rostock, and I can save that. The reason I'm not just disbanding these fleets is because the captains have had a lot of experience. 1315, 1315, and 1205. I mean, they're all at the very least very competent at repairing things, which is probably testament to how much they break down, but still. Wool for Rostock, please do. So they go there, they fill up on the wool, and they bring it straight over to Rostock. Simple enough. Jake, you are duplicating your saved routed. I'm whatting now? Not that I can see. These are 3 different wools: wool center, wool east, wool west. Not to be confused with wood center, wood east, wood west. But hey, maybe you know something that I don't. Okay, this looks good. As long as Rostock know how to work with their administrator. And that is that you keep a ton of this stuff. Otherwise you produce, well, nothing, frankly. Never mind, I'm blind. I was looking at wood. Well, what a shame for you. Why do so many people turn up for these streams? I don't get it. Ach, well. Ripping, eh? That's far from good. Although who knows, it might kill off a lot of people, and that would make me fairly happy. Demolish. Demolish. This is pretty good. Now the real reason I focused on Ripon and I focused on Rostock instead of Ripon is, despite Rostock having mead and pelts, which both sell for crazy money. Look at the market for pelts. If they're in demand, it'll be worth 600. And mead, on the other hand, if it's in demand, it goes for 300. That's even more so than beer. It's twice as good as beer. That's because cloth plays a very important part that's kind of bottlenecking me right now. And that is to construct ships. We need wood. We've got plenty of that. Hemp, plenty. Wooden tools. Metal tools, we are producing and dispersing them, just not fast as I would like. Pitch we also make and disperse, but cloth we are starved for. The only place that has reasonable amounts of cloth are over in Haarlem, and those come in from our expeditions, and I'm not entirely happy with the fact that that's the way they come in. Speaking of not entirely happy, I have all this pitch, and I have been ignoring actually dispersing that pitch. What do we have in terms of pitch dispersal? I have one of them. It's not very big, and this is what it does. Still, if it still has over half of its cargo after leaving Revel, with only Stockholm and Visby to do afterwards, then it's probably just fine. If I look to, say, Aalborg, 10-day demand for pitch is 82? That seems kind of high. Why is it so high? Do people use that much pitch? Am I out of touch? 2.2, 7.1, so it should be more than 3 times the amount that you have demand for. Yeah, okay, people just love pitch as much as they love cheese. Fine, I get it. Point is, though, I need to do a center and west dispersal of pitch, because it's money that I'm just hemorrhaging by not giving it out. And if I jump into here, yeah, pitch is needed to actually produce more of these things. And I could be producing better ships, so I need to say, I'm going to withdraw these. Hell, I could even withdraw this, because you don't even have the goods to make it. Oh, okay, construction has apparently started. Still, I want my Hanseatic cogs. Ludicrously expensive though they are. And there was something I was doing there. Wow, metal as well? Metal and metal goods are all way down here. Aalborg, what are you doing? Not producing enough metal, that's the thing. And Malmo will be eating it all up. And that massacre of Aalborg really cost me. Oh well, it is what it is. Yeah. Now if you keep everywhere very well stocked in all these building materials, you can have ships on the double, as long as you have the money for them. It's just that it's not always that easy. So what am I looking for these guys? You can do a loop around here in less than 10 days. So with that in mind, 1,000 should be plenty. Hell, a little more than 500 should be plenty for them. But I'll say 1,000 just to keep it safe, which means I need 2 cogs. Easier said than done by this point, but I got a Hulk and a cog in Aalborg. I got 2 cogs in Ripon though, which is rather nice.